NSFW, what became way less sexy after you actually got to experience it? Beach sex. Doesn't matter how big your towel is. Sand everywhere. Sand can be a big problem. Sand gets in places sand was not meant to be. I'm curious how one gets sand out of genital/anus. Sex on rose petals on a bed. They stain and there's always a thorn or two that manages to sneak into the mix. Thanks for the heads up. Aren't you an optimist? This was like 10 years ago, but there was this combination lube/massage oil that came out, and my boyfriend and I were so excited to try it out. Well, it dried up and got really sticky after about 3 minutes. So it sucked at both the things it was advertised for. We never did that again. I used something that was a tingly massage lube, but it wasn't oil based from memory. It was fucking awful. Like you said, it dried to a sticky goop, and it tingled inside in all the wrong ways. So when I was about 10, my neighbors had a tag sale, and I came home with this stuff called motion lotion. You would blow on it and it would get hot. I was 10 and thought it was awesome. My mom immediately made me turn around and take it back to them. My neighbor sold me an open bottle of her sex lotion. Hooked up with a 38-year-old nymphomaniac when I was 22. The initial encounter in a hotel room was straight out of The Graduate, and just like that movie, she quickly became manipulative and stalkerish. And then did you run away with her daughter and immediately regret your life choices? Traveling internationally for work seems all glamorous. Really just sitting on an airplane for 14+ hours at a time. I think once in a while it sounds great, especially if you have enough free time to explore the places you go to. But to do so regularly would be tiring. That's the thing though. It's tough to find that free time for exploring, at least in many jobs. Sex with food. It starts off interesting, but by the end you're trying to clean maple syrup out of your girlfriend's pleasure valley. Oh no, that's a yeast infection waiting to happen. And in the morning, you can make pancakes. I'm a girl. Bath water isn't a good lube. The stuff in there shouldn't be going into your lady part. The tub is slippery and it becomes a full-on wave pool after 5 seconds. Seatbelt buckles aren't comfortable to lay on. The back seat is way too small for any position. Against the wall, man holding the woman up is way harder and more awkward than your fancy adult videos make it seem. IDK how they do it. I thought you were discussing one experience that was something to picture. Why does she have seatbelts in the tub? Question mark? Wow. Against the tub wall. Too slippery. Even if you're buckled up. It was a wild ride. Haha. That's actually hilarious. Sorry. My wife bought some sexual enhancement gel at some sex toys party that she attended with her girlfriends. It was supposed to numb my wanja so I can go all night. We had been having sex for a bit and I was ready to paint her insides, but she wanted to go longer, so she had me put this stuff on my tip. Holy hell. It was like I dipped my dick into a bottle of the 30 Last Dap from Hot Ones. What made it worse was the delayed reaction. I put it on and slid it back in. That is when the fire erupted for both of us. I quickly pulled out and tried to put out the fire on my dick by waving my hand back and forth, but all it did was fan the flames. Needless to say that the night was over for me, as I had to somehow get this fireball paste off my skull before I decided to cut it off. I think I spent 20 minutes in the shower washing that stuff off. 0/10. I used some lube that was supposed to be cool, but instead was burny like ducking icy hot. Only plain lube from that day on. I wanna know how the hell stuff like this ever gets past any form of product testing. There was a guy a long time ago that posted about his scat fetish. It was one of those porn addiction thing that was so powerful it was ruining real sex for the guy. It was like a 20,000 word essay. He ended up paying the premier #1 scat porn actress in the world to finally fulfill his fantasy. He was laying on a towel in his living room, and the moment the shit hit the mouth he realized he had just paid $3,000 to have someone shit in his mouth. Good news, he got over his scat porn addiction. I'm not saying I would pay $3,000 for someone to shit in my mouth, but $3,000 seems like a price I'd be willing to pay in order to regain the ability to enjoy sex. It seems cheaper than therapy. Face sitting. I thought it would be great being eaten out like that. It's extremely hard to comfortably sit on top of a guy's face though. Or maybe I'm just doing it wrong. You have to be comfortable, both physically and mentally. I find that usually people are self-conscious being on top in that situation, so it's hard for them to get off. Shower sex. Shower foreplay is underrated though. I nearly drowned trying to eat my ex's booty in the shower once. I felt like I was in SEAL training with an instructor holding a hose to my face while I tried to do flutter kicks. Titty fucking. It's cool and all, but porn makes it look way more enjoyable and pleasing than real life. Porn makes me think that women actively try to go Super Saiyan from basically any sexual contact. You've never made a woman orgasm so hard she went Ultra Instinct? Missionary. Terrible experience. Partner eaten by cannibals. Years of therapy. They had us in the first half NGL. Not that I ever considered it sexy, but sex in a pool doesn't feel great. I think penetration in a pool sucks. But have you ever played with the jets bee? The jets are amazing. I haven't felt anything else that comes close. That said, they better duck and lose on Sunday. Squirting. An ex-girlfriend of mine was a bit of a gusher. It was a surprise the first time. That's for sure. It's sexy in the moment, but you quickly associate sex with needing to change the bedsheets, which isn't awesome. Hey baby, want to fool around? Can't. The spare sheets are still in the wash from last time. This is why you put a towel down. Had a very small interest in water sports when I was young and in high school. I had discovered it through online p/rn. I didn't really know how many different ways people lived out this fetish and really had very little to no sexual experience at the time. I made the mistake of telling my then girlfriend about it when she asked if I had any kinks. She insisted I get nude and sit in the shower. I reluctantly did, and she stood over me and just let a waterfall of piss onto my body. It splattered. It burned. I was ashamed. I showered immediately and never mentioned it to another girlfriend ever again. It burned _ I mean, urine is slightly acidic. Had a friend who used to strip. She was pretty open about this. Offered me a lap dance. I said yes. It really isn't that hot. I'm a more hands-on, mutual act kind of person anyway, so it could be it's just not my jam. Maybe it was because she was a friend. Maybe we had some chemistry, but hadn't addressed it yet. I think it could have been different if we already hadn't were dating. Bucake. My wife thought it would be hot, so I surprised her with it at her 40th birthday party. You could see the disappointment on her face. My day will be so much better if this isn't a joke. Threesomes. They can be kind of awkward, but I like my sex the way I play basketball. One-on-one with as little dribbling as possible. Lieutenant Frank Drebin. Naked Gun 33 1/3. Like a blind man at an orgy. I was gonna have to feel things out. Sex with an older woman. I was 20 and she was 46. She had just split from her husband, who she had been with since high school, and that had been her only relationship. She just wasn't good in bed at all, and it totally ruined that fantasy for me. And that had been her only relationship. There's your problem. Apostrophe. Jamie Hyneman. First time I've seen a quote from the Walrus invoked on Reddit and am not disappointed at all. Sex with panties on girl. I thought it's sexy as in porn. When they are burning out tap passion and immediately move it to side, then banging hard. Hell no. Viral panties just absorb the juices from vagina, making it less slippery and less pleasant to have sex in general. It's not comfy at all. Also, the wet fabric can rub you raw, but it's worth it for me. This man knows. The 69 position. At least one person's neck is always at some ungodly uncomfortable angle. Nose in the butthole, balls covering the eyes. Trying to find the right mix of effort into pleasing your partner while still enjoying what they are giving out. I haven't had anyone suggest it since a teenager, but tried once recently playing a sex game with my partner and we both tapped out after 45 seconds. My husband and I lay on our sides for 69. That way you're using your partner's bottom thigh as a pillow, so your neck doesn't get sore. No one is on top having to support themselves awkwardly with their arms, and having their arms get tired. Also nothing dangling in anyone's face. In fact, since he is on his side, his sack hides his asshole from me. Trust me, my nose isn't near it, lol. Just as a suggestion. 69 wasn't great with most of my partners, because a lot of guys just can't focus if they are receiving too much pleasure, but every now and then you find just the right partner. 69 wasn't great with most of my partners, because a lot of guys just can't focus if they are receiving too much pleasure. Subtle flex. Dirty talk during sex. It's just awkward and unnatural. Some people like it, but for me, it was just so fake and forced. Depends what's going on, emo. If my partner is doing something kinky, I can dirty talk, but I mean WTF do you say for vanilla stuff? You like being duck missionary position, with the lights off, and your socks off, or, apostrophe. Pool and hot tub sex. The lubrication breaks down really quickly, and the angles are all wrong in most cases. In hot tubs that have good seating and mounting positions, you end up overheating due to the hot water and frequently end up sloshing water everywhere. It's a great visual and a fun place to get the foreplay going, but not so great over time. A couple I knew had a hot tub. Regarding sex, the guy said that at the very strategic time somebody's feet or knees would suddenly slip. Shower sex. It's no fun to hit your elbow or head on glass when you're in the middle of getting railed. Those funny bone tingles. Anal. Yes, it's talked up to be this grand thing, then you're just like, oh, I'm here. Saying you did it is more exciting. Never wanted anal myself and never asked a girl about it, but them offered it, so first 2-3 times I was okay. Let's try, but it's just not for me, I guess. Why would I choose anal? A little disgusting for me. If there are two way more enjoyable millimeters places, close bracket. But my ex and my wife were just obsessed with trying to duck me in my ass. But that territory is forbidden. XD. Phone sex. It is not a good idea to have sex with a phone. I was really drunk one time, and it was one of those Garfield phones, and I'll be damned if that little orange bastard didn't start to look good one night. He'll do anything for a piece of lasagna. Sex. Amen. My asexual homie. Joining the ace party here. Edible body paint or lube. That stuff will never taste good. Anal. Halfway through it, I thought to myself, I'm ducking a poop tube, and have never done it again. Getting the Damascus camo in Call of Duty. It feels so crazy at first, but feels pointless after you've realized you wasted almost a year of playing Call of Duty just to have a blue shiny gun. Squirting. It had never happened with anyone else other than my current boyfriend, and when it happened, we were both shocked. As a cam girl, you quickly learn that squirting is all the rage for a lot of viewers. So I was sad to realize then that I couldn't make it happen for myself. But let me tell you, there is nothing sexy about being mid-orgasm and having your partner yell, "Oh my god, you're splashing everywhere," while you go, "Huh, wha? The duck do you mean?" Kinda slurred out in a wave of confusion. And for him to go, "Damn, stop nutting, little super soaker," apostrophe. In conclusion, lay a towel down. Just in case. The last quote is the kinda shit you get framed and hung somewhere in private. I'll embroider it for our home. Having sex with Frida. She thought that all she had to do was just lay there. I felt like a necrophiliac. Frida Kahlo's been dead for 65 years, so you might be onto something there. I forget where the story was when I read it. I have to assume Reddit. It probably was an Ask Reddit about experiencing your fetish for the first time. In short, dude liked Dapu Poo, watched a lot of the scat porn, eventually got the nerve to get a prostitute who deals with that. She asked him if he wanted to start slow for his first time. On his chest or something. He said nope. On my face, I think. Close bracket. She does the deed. And while in the act he realized, yeah, not for me, or the guy that was into cuckold porn. Talked his wife into having sex with another guy while he watched. only to find out he was only into it for the fantasy of him being the guy that's get to duck someone's wife. I think he couldn't bear to watch it and left, and now is stuck with the image in his head of his wife getting screwed by someone else. There is a video of that pretty much actually. Saw it on Fucked. Redhead girl was into it and a guy kept saying stuff where you could see he was not really into it. Lingerie. When I was a teenager, many years ago, I thought it was sexy because all I could get were Victoria's Secret catalogs. Now I find it irritating and unpleasant. My wife tried some on for me something like 20 years ago. It didn't nothing for me at all. Heck, the first thing you do is take it off anyway. What's the point? Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.